Welcome to GBC Updates for Friday the 13th of August. We are 2 weeks into this extension of 4 weeks in the lockdown, and having just heard the numbers for today, I suppose it's a fair chance to say that the lockdown may be extended. We seem to be in a period of time where the certainty that we are hoping for in terms of numbers dropping or vaccination rates going up just isn't quite there yet, which means that it is all the more important that we stay connected with each other. We sent out an email earlier this week just about some of the ways that we're trying to help you stay connected and to care for our community of faith. I really encourage you to have a look at that if you haven't already. There's a PDF that went out with that as well if you'd rather just read that through. Can I just encourage you to do a couple of things? Those of you who are on life groups, really lean into that space. Make sure that you're connecting there. I know that at the end of another day on Zoom, the last thing you want to do is get into another Zoom conversation. But staying connected around our discipleship and our faith is really critical at this point in time. So let me really encourage you to do what you can in that space. Also want to encourage you, for those of you who may not be in a life group, that just this week, just last night in fact, we launched our first lockdown life group. A life group that is designed essentially to last as long as lockdown lasts. So if you are not in a life group currently, but you could use a little bit of connection in this period of time, why don't you contact Matt Willis or Nicole Jones about these lockdown life groups, and if we kind of gather enough people, we will find another leader and we'll get that going for you. You can find information on GBC links. Speaking of GBC links, if you are part of our community of faith and have never logged in, we'd love for you to be able to do so. That's the primary way that we are kind of being able to find people and contact them. If we don't have any of your contact details, it makes caring for you that much more difficult. If you are in GBC links and haven't logged in for a while, we'd love for you to do that as well. Just check your details are up to date so that if we do try to reach you or contact you or need to kind of find where you are, that we can do that a little bit more easily. Also encourage you this Sunday, if you're going to log into one of our services either at 9:30 or 6, to log in. And let us know that you're there. If you watch as a guest, that's fine, but we'd love for you to log in. That just allows us to kind of acknowledge that, yes, you're there, which is helpful for us, just as we're growing concerned for people who we haven't seen for the last number of weeks. Perhaps you've been present, but are only as a guest for us, and we'd love to know that you've been around. There are a couple of ways that you can also be involved in the life of the church right now. Let me start by thanking those of you who dropped off non-perishable goods for Hopefield last week. When they aggregated the 41 donations that came in, there were 125 big Coles plastic bags and 8 boxes of things. And Hopefield were just overwhelmed by that outpouring of generosity, and it's remarkable. Really encourage you to kind of mark the second Sunday in September in your calendar to be a part of that, but just thank you for your generosity in that space, helping those in our community who are doing it really, really tough right now. We're also looking for people to join our live stream team. So if you're a part of our current production team, and particularly if you're part of our vision team, and would like to be involved on a Sunday and get out of the house for a valid reason, please make sure you let Martin Johnson, the section leader for that team, know. But also, if you'd like to join the team, we're looking to train some people as vision operators, but also as camera operators. So if you've ever thought to yourself, I'd like to be a part of that, here's your opportunity. So make sure you contact Martin Johnson, be a part of that team. We'd love for you to be involved on Sundays, and that has a lifespan beyond Sundays, of course, because we're going to be continuing to be live streaming and then probably returning to pre-recording at some point in time. So this is not just a short-term skill set, but actually a longer-term one. During times of uncertainty, I hope that you have felt the sense that for those of us who have faith, we have something to stand on. It might be uncertain, we might feel anxious, we might have no real idea about what's going on, but we have faith and hope. There are many people in our lives who don't. And I don't know if you've thought a little bit more about, I wonder if there's an opportunity here for me to share my faith, if there's an opportunity here to be kind of a little bit more, shall I say, evangelistically focused. Many of you know that Belinda Lakeland has been helping us think through Plan A, which are 5 principles of evangelism. And in the link below, you can actually fill in a little survey about Plan A. Belinda has just finished a 6-week coaching session with about a dozen people who are interested in learning to think through how they can sow seeds of faith and conversation. Really simple practices for us, particularly during lockdown. And if you have the real sense that your neighbors, your colleagues, your friends who don't follow Jesus could really use, I don't know, if there's an opportunity here for their lives to be changed by Jesus, why don't you fill in that survey? There's an opportunity to be involved in another coaching group, an excellent way just to kind of talk a bit about what that looks like. So I really want to encourage you to be a part of that as well. And just finally, I want to kind of encourage you with 2 things. First of all, the anxiety and uncertainty of our day is being amplified, of course, by social media and media more generally. It's so important that we get good information. I hope that you are able to or have already received a vaccination. I get my 2nd AstraZeneca shot next week. I'm looking forward to being fully vaccinated. But if you have any questions about vaccinations, please, can I encourage you to speak to your GP? Don't refer to your friends on social media or kind of anywhere else. Just go to someone who knows what they're talking about. That would be really helpful. And I would encourage you, if you are able to get the vaccine. It's one way in which we can be others-focused for our wider community. So I'd encourage you in that space. But secondly and finally, can I encourage you to be kind to yourself? I've been saying this to our staff for the last month and a bit. And I've been saying it more frequently to those that I interact with. These are uncertain times. And while we have hope and faith in Jesus, the uncertainty and the anxiety kind of leaches into our souls too. And so there are times when, either because it's a little bit boring right now, or because we're just over Zoom, or because of the kind of the background stress that we're living with right now, that it just becomes a little bit harder to be the best version of ourselves. And while we all want that, it's okay to kind of put your hand up and say, I'm not doing great. It's okay to kind of call a little bit early, to do a little bit less, to be kind to ourselves in order that we can kind of look out for ourselves and our families in this period of time. We don't want to make that an excuse to be lazy. We don't want to do any of those sorts of things. But can I encourage you? Just cut yourself some slack. Give yourself a bit of a break. Be kind to yourself. I'm trying to practice that myself, trying to be a little bit, giving myself a bit of a break, allowing myself to not do as much or as well as I would hope to have done, and just being okay with that. So I hope that you're encouraged in the midst of all of that. This is a little bit of a longer update than usual. We do hope to see you in one of our online services. Trust that you do feel connected. By all means, please reach out if we can help in any way. We want to try to stay connected. We want to try to care for each other in this period of time and do the best that we can as we wait. As I said, hope to see you soon. Until then, God bless.